Hello, this is topic 3-2 on inequality applications. It's basically just about using inequalities within word problems. So we're going to set up the inequality and then we're going to solve it. So Albert earns $3.50 for every hour that he works. So because this is for each, I'm going to multiply that by h. Now he wants to earn at least $52.50. So the question is, do we want to have this sign or that sign? Well, at least. So this is how much he makes. This is how much he needs. So, is it okay if our earnings are less than our needs? No, we do not want our earnings to be less than our needs. So now we're looking at greater than. Now, here's the next question is, can my earnings equal my needs? Okay, well he says he needs to earn at least. Well, at least means that yes, if I earn $52.50, then I'm still okay. Now, had this said more than, then no, $52.50 would not work because he needs more than that. So here we've got this, and now it's just a simple matter of solving it. So 3.5h greater than or equal to 52.5. Divide both sides by 3.5. And that gives me 15. Now, I did not multiply or divide by negative, so my sign did not change, and this is my answer. Well, now we write our inequality. That is 3.5h greater than or equal to 52.5. And we write our answer that h must be greater than or equal to 15. So as long as he works 15 hours, he'll make his goal. Let's go ahead and look at example number 2. Now here we've got daily production cost and cannot be more than 5,400. So I'm going to go ahead and write this 5,400. And this is our budget. Okay? We can't go over our budget. This is our budget. And now we say it costs $15 in materials to make each pair of skates. So 15 for a pair of skates. And the operating costs are $900. Well, our budget was $5,400. It costs us $15 for a pair of skates, and it costs us $900 to operate. Well, this is our costs. Now, if it's 15 per skate and 900 for materials, we're wondering, do we add or subtract? And of course we add, because this is all going into our costs. Now we got to figure out, what symbol do we need? Well, our budget has to be less than our cost. The budget must be less than cost. Cannot be more than 5,400. That means this has to be this has to be bigger. Sorry. Our budget must be bigger than our costs. Budget must be more than costs, or costs must be less than the budget. always go back and double check to make sure you did not put the sign the wrong way. And so this is our inequality, that 5400 must be greater than 15s plus 900. And now we're going to go ahead and solve that. I'm going to go ahead and switch to an x over here because sometimes s's look like 5s. Doesn't matter what variable we use as long as we solve it correctly. I'm going to subtract 900 right off the bat because those are my operating costs. I can't change those. So 5400 minus the 900 gives me 4500. $4,500 to work with in order to make skates at 15 bucks a pop. Divide both sides by 15, and then I get that 300 must be greater than x. So that means we must make less than 300 skates. Or equal to, because I go back and I go, well, if I equal my budget, I will be okay. And so I'm going to put the s less than or equal to 300. Let's go ahead and move on to the back. Here we're talking about a group of 3 friends that go to the movies. They pay for the tickets, and they have $10 to spend on refreshments. And that's how much they have, so that's their budget. And we know that budgets have to be bigger than how much we spend. So sodas are $1.50 each, so that's 1.50 for a soda. A box of popcorn will cost them $1.75, and they want 2 boxes of popcorn. So we're going to take that and we're going to multiply it by 2. And so this is our inequality. Remember, costs have to be underneath the budget. Budget must be bigger than the costs. So 10, 1.5 s plus 2 times $1.75. Just using some commutative property to move around that multiplication. And now we need to solve it. Well, our $10 we know that we're going to spend $3.50 on popcorn in total. So we're going to go ahead and subtract that. And we have $6.50 left at $1.50 a soda. So we divide that by 1.5. And we get 4.3 repeating must be greater than or equal to 1.5. Sorry, must be greater than or equal to s. So that means that our sodas have to be less than or equal to 4.3. So how many sodas can we get? We can get 4 sodas, because you can't get a third of a soda. They're not going to allow you to buy a third of a soda at a movie theater, but they can get 4. So the 3 friends can actually buy 4 sodas. Maybe one guy is really thirsty and he likes to drink 2 by himself. Probably the same guy who gets a box of popcorn all to himself and makes his other 2 friends share. We don't know. Let's go ahead and talk about example number 4. Well, Kevin's in history class, and we know that he has 4 tests. We know first he made a 76, then he made an 85, and then he made a 74, and that was the first 3 tests. And we need to make at least an 80, so that has to be greater than or equal to an 80, so we can get a B. We've got some things missing. How do we find the average of a bunch of numbers? Well, to find average, we add all values and divide by the number of values. That means I'm going to add, but I need a 4th value, so I'm going to use T for test, and then divide by how many values I have. Well, I have 4 tests. And so this is my inequality. And that grade needs to be better than, or at minimum, an 80. Well, now we solve. Now this problem is going to solve a little bit differently because I'm going to actually multiply first. I don't like fractions. Fractions tend to make things complicated. So to make fractions go away, I simply multiply by the denominator. And so now I get 76 plus 85 plus 74 plus T equals 320. Well, now I combine my similar terms. 76, 85, 74 gives me 235, plus my new test, and we still want to be greater than or equal to 320. Well, I subtract 235, and my test score needs to be greater than or equal to 85. So we need to make at least an 85. Alright, my test score needs to be at least 85 in order for me to make a B if I'm in Kevin's position. We've got one more example. And here we're talking about an interstate highway where our max speed is 70 miles an hour and the minimum speed is 45 miles an hour. So max of 70, minimum of 45, and here we're just writing inequality. Well, X represents our speed, and we want X to be in between 45 and 70. So I'm just going to literally put X in between 45 and 70. And let's have a look. Well, 45 must be less than or equal to our X because we want to be doing bigger than 45. This is the same thing as writing X must be greater than or equal to 45 in this part of the statement right here. Now over here, we want to be going less than or equal to 70. And that's the same as X is less than or equal to 70, and that part is right there. And when I put them together in one statement, I say that X has to be greater than 45, but less than 70. And so that is my answer. Now the reason I put the equal signs are, if you're going 45, you're okay. If you're going 70, you're okay. But if you're going 44, you're breaking the law. If you're going 71, you're breaking the law. So you want to be somewhere between here to be good in case a police officer decides to pull you over and ask you how fast you're going. But all this is word problems. It's taking the numbers out, creating an equation, and then solving for that equation. Good luck on your assignment. Have a good day.